It is a beautiful morning on Star Lake in the curmudgeon's hot tub. Now, let's talk about income redistribution and wealth concentration and inequality. So, are you aware that something like 99% of the wealth of this country is owned by 1% of the population? Well, now, anytime that you want to talk about that, you run up against people saying, well, we have to reward industry and effort, and we cannot reward indolence and dependence. Well, that's true. But we got a problem in that the accumulation of wealth can only be accomplished with the support of an entire community. So let's take a look at the IT billionaires, Gates and Paul Allen and Steve Jobs and Adam Taylor Kirk. There's a name you want to keep an eye on, Adam Taylor Kirk. All right, so if these guys could have made their billions, without having to pay taxes and etc., and suffer the regulations of government, they would have. They'd have gone somewhere else, but they couldn't. They could only accumulate that wealth because of the taxes and regulations that we have imposed upon ourselves. Now, my argument is we've taxed ourselves a little too lightly. These guys have done a little too well at the expense of the rest of the community. So let's think about a pitcher of milk, and on the top of the milk floats a layer of cream. And these wealthy people have skimmed off the cream and then announced that I did it, I made it, it was my effort that did it. No. Paul Allen, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, they could not have created those empires of wealth but for countless school teachers, policemen, firemen, city workers. They needed a large, well-educated workforce. How did they get well-educated? Underpaid school teachers who lived in enjoyable, safe communities. What made them enjoyable and safe? City workers. And these workers then were able to get to and from work quickly, safely, comfortably. How? City workers, transportation workers. So all of that infrastructure is what made it possible for these guys to accumulate all that wealth, made it possible for them to skim the cream off of all of the work done by all those people. So we have this illusion that those guys did it themselves, created their own wealth. No, they couldn't have done it but for the efforts of all these lowly little proletariats out there working at underpaid minimum wage jobs. So let's share the cream. Let's share the wealth. There wouldn't have been any cream to skim off the top if we hadn't all got in there and milked the cow and created the milk from which you could now. See, that's the problem is the rich guys skim off the cream, and then the rest of us, we get to drink skim milk. It ain't right. We got to redistribute the wealth And I think that we can do it in a way that does not encourage indolence and dependence, and does encourage industry and effort. Thank you.